Why do you do that? And then you, Dan.
I just have a few comments I wanted to touch on. First, to thank Health Director Mike Charlie and the Board of Health Chair Florence Miller and the Board of Health members, village staff, and my colleagues for supporting this and for allowing the referral to take place and the hard work that was done. We appreciate that. I view this as a public health emergency, in my opinion. I think it's totally gone off the rails in Oak Park and around the country. And as a governing body that has a health department under us, I feel the need to advocate vigorously to do something about it. So some of the data points that really were struck me, I think, was that there is, and mentioned in the report, and thank you for that, that there's substantial evidence that chemicals in e-cigarette aerosols can cause acute endothelial cell dysfunction, oxidative stress, DNA damage, mutagenesis, making it possible for long-term use, could increase the risk of tissue damage and cancer. I think that's really what it comes down to. The science, these products have gotten so far ahead so fast that the science is catching up, and I'm quite sure, I believe that just like cigarettes, this is really going to be a public health crisis in years to come, and we really should, as a village, do everything we can and advocate, and we are. One of the compounds that's in these is formaldehyde, and can you imagine inhaling and smoking, ingesting formaldehyde? I mean, that can't be, that's got to be the worst thing you possibly can do. So it mentioned also, Mike, you mentioned that research showed that the teens trying these flavored tobacco products are 170% more likely to be current smokers than those who have never tried tobacco products. So one thing leads to another. I think the marketing is bothersome in a way that many youth don't even realize that they're using a nicotine product. They don't even know it, and they're addicted. It's unbelievable. So regarding the recommendations, I support all of them. I think that the three relating to businesses were smart, and increasing enforcement, reinforcing the ordinance requirements, those are all good things. And then we referenced the additional recommendations for possible ordinance amendments. I would strongly think that the ban of any flavored pods should be done. I know the FDA is working on that, but I know that they're still available. So I don't know how the timeline is, but that is one thing that is a big problem, and that they should be non-refillable. I think that's important, and I think also if they're sold anywhere near a school, that's a key. And I was just curious. I noticed the two lists that you gave us. One was from Jewel. It was very short. The other one was from what?
It was from the police department, our police department. Jewel only lists those people that they, at that point in time, when I captured that, those were the businesses that they listed under the Oak Park zip codes.
Right, but they have like 70% of the market, so I find there's a big disparity between the two. The
police department knows more in terms of what's actually.
Right, I just thought that was odd that there was such a huge difference in the two lists. So we certainly know where they're being sold. I think Jewel knows too, but and I do believe, as Simone mentioned, there's a compliance issue. I mean, clearly kids are getting these and they're getting them all over the place. So I also think the educational recommendations are important, where we look at communicating through the different venues to highlight the issue, reaching out to healthcare professionals. Also, utilizing the school resource officers, I think that's a good recommendation, which can only be beneficial.
And I've talked to Sergeant Jacobson a little about that, and I actually sent him a copy of this report, because our school resource officers are in a fabulous position.
They are.
To really, implement some of these items and to talk, because they're there. They're, talking with students on a daily basis, and just as they talk to them about bike helmets, they can talk about e-cigarettes and cigarettes.
Right, so well, that would be important. Now, I just want to mention, as I look at this, I think what might be missing in the report, and if anything, it's not on the Board of Health, it's really on us, because it's more policy related. I know this is I believe it's a public health crisis and an addiction crisis. We have so many kids that are now really addicted, and they don't even know it. But so there'll be a whole host of treatment requirements in the future that people will need to get certain treatment and go through programs to stop the use of these. It's going to be difficult. And I believe that requires, and I should advocate for, a real collaboration with our 6 taxing bodies. And we should come together on this e-cigarette issue comprehensively and attack it, because it affects all the taxing bodies. You think the township with the youth services, the interventionists, what the kind of contact they have with kids, obviously the school district, the park district, the library, it's all connected, and we're all a part of it. So we're all stakeholders, and we really need to invest in this. And I hope that we can all get together as this. I feel a multi-pronged effort is warranted, and if we ever want to reverse these trends. And I'd ask the other trustees and the staff if they feel, as I do, that a coordinated effort is probably the best approach, a collaborative effort with our other taxing bodies, because we can't do this alone. I can't put this all on the health department. I don't think that you have the resources or the time to do this. This is a major emphasis in our village, and in my opinion, I don't think we can do enough by ourselves to be successful. And of course, part of a collaborative effort, we pool our resources of all sorts, and I think that would be beneficial too.
So just, James, we have, there's currently it's called the School Youth Committee, and the different organizations in Oak Park participate, including the township, the schools, and we have someone on the health department who's recently joined that meeting. And actually, there's a meeting tomorrow. And we were, at the first meeting, we asked for 10 minutes to speak on e-cigarettes on behalf of the village to get things rolling. I think the group was primarily focused on marijuana and alcohol use, but I think that after the last meeting, they all showed sustained interest in jumping on board with this. So, and we'll continue to work with them in a collaborative approach, not only doing all the work ourselves, of course.
Right, and I'd like to see organizations like iGov as well as COG step up to this and try to address it from all different directions. High school's been talking about this. The grade schools are talking about that. They're working on it. They've got their own plans. We've got a plan. We need to talk to them. We need to bring everyone in the same page and move ahead as a group. Otherwise, we're all doing, again, 6 different efforts, and I don't think it's efficient. So, thank you.
All right.